Online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, it is time for your tomorrow's headlines today, and that means it is a Tuesday. So that means we turn our headlines today over to Jordy to help us out with a little headlines today.
All right, so Pro Football Focus's Steve Palazzolo. We love Pro Football Focus.
No, that's not the guy we talk to.
That's it, especially Seth Galino. We love him.
Yeah, exactly. When you get dominated and put 530 yards on somebody's head. But go ahead.
Yes.
All right, so he was putting together a list of the next elite breakout star in the NFL, right? And he compared this to Ryan Tannehill and Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen's elite. We're not even going to go into Ryan Tannehill. You're going to make me go into a rant on Tuesday. But the guy that he chose was...
It's got to be Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Darn it.
It's a defensive player. Former defensive tackle for Alabama, Quinnen Williams.
Oh.
All right. So normally the New York Jets is a dark pit hole of despair, but with Robert Saleh coming over, defensive-minded coach from San Francisco 49ers, maybe this could be Quinnen Williams this year. He had 55 tackles and 7 sacks and 14 QB hits last year. So I actually agree with that. I can see him being the next breakout star.
Well, if that happens, he's going to get paid a lot of money. I can tell you that, for being a disruptive D tackle. And people forget at Alabama, when he had the breakout year in 2018, he was only a redshirt sophomore. That was the first year starting and really playing a lot. He played situationally. The first year he redshirted, second year he played situationally mainly as a backup, and then wasn't a starter until that 18 year. And from the first game against Louisville, he was impossible to handle. So, and so that also, he started his clock earlier, so he's still a really young guy. And so, you're in an environment like New York City. If they could ever win, he'd have more money than he knew what to do with. But Quinnen, a very good player, and I know the Jets had talked about trading him. That probably would have been another Jets disaster if they had done that. But still, Quinnen off to a very good start.
All right, your other headline.
So the next one, ESPN's Mike Clay. So this is actually pretty cool. He put together a projection list, and this dude went all in. He projected all the stats for every single starting player on every single team in the NFL in the 2021 season. And obviously the interest here are the 3 Alabama quarterbacks. You got Mac Jones with the New England Patriots. You got Tua Tagovailoa with Miami Dolphins. And then you got Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm. So he had them ranked. He had Tua at number 1, and he had Jalen at number 2, and Mac Jones at number 3. Now, the problem with this list was Mac Jones, right? So you start looking at the stats, the projected stats. So he had Cam Newton starting for 11 games. And then, even though he's hurt already. And then he has Mac Jones coming in for the last 7 games. He has Mac Jones' stat line at 11 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Now, look, I get it. The Patriots receiving core is terrible. I get that. But
it's revamped.
Yeah, it's revamped. But they have 2 stud tight ends. They have one of the best offensive lines in football. They have a coach that's won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach. They have a defense that's going to freaking put Mac Jones in good field position when he starts earlier than they have him projected to start, because he will start earlier, because he's one of the most QB ready quarterbacks to ever come out of college football.
Drew, you don't see Mac Jones sitting on the bench for 11 games, do you?
No, I think before game 8 he'll be there. I think Cam will either get hurt or he'll either play poorly, and Belichick is going to want to. Now he has a better option. He doesn't have Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer, and Hoyer is a veteran, but has never really been a playoff caliber quarterback. He's certainly one of the better, more respected backups in the league, certainly. But they gave Jarrett Stidham a chance. It was not pretty. So I just think and believe that Mac Jones will get an opportunity. I saw that, and Jordy did too. You saw the quotes in the past few days from Bill Belichick concerning Mac Jones. Bill Belichick doesn't compliment people very often, and he's already cautiously, but still doing it, complimenting Mac Jones' mental retention, what he's doing with the offense. And Cam was absent due to injury.
Right.
And I mean, he may get Shea cottoned here. You don't make the club in the tub. So if he can't get healthy early in training camp and Mac gets a chance, look, we all know what happened and how Drew Bledsoe lost the job. He got hurt. Some cat named Brady was sitting there waiting, and it was a Wally Pipp moment, okay? And then Drew ended up in Buffalo. So I would not be shocked if Cam gets hurt early in training camp or early in the season. If Mac gets the job and gets a chance to play, Cam had a good career, but sayonara.
The other big headline, and Jordan, I'm sure you saw this as well, but sad news out of the world of the NFL, and that is former New York Giants head coach Jim Fossil has passed away at the age of 71. He coached 3 playoff appearances. He did coach the Giants in Super Bowl 35 when they lost to the Ravens 34-7. But Jim Fossil, a long time member of the NFL coaching community, passes away last night at the age of 71. Tough one.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Fossil was a great offensive mind, a long-time OC in the NFL, head coach for the Giants, got them to that Super Bowl where they faced arguably the greatest single-season defense in NFL history with that Ravens group coordinated by Marvin Lewis. I mean, that Trent Dilfer was the quarterback of that group. They weren't very good offensively. They weren't pretty. They didn't have to be. That defense was, it reminded me a lot of the '86 New York Giants. I mean, it was just a dominating unit that defined their football team. And defined the 90s, if you want to just say, in that they were kind of the standard defensively that everyone was held to. So that Ray Lewis was completely dominant. They had so many great players on that defense that went on to have outstanding careers. Ed Reed, to me, the greatest free safety to ever play the game. I mean, he was a huge part of that too. And I don't agree with some of Ed's political views. In the way he's handled some other situations in the NFL, but as a player, a pure football player with the instincts and the intellect, he is a peerless guy. I mean, I think Minkah Fitzpatrick reminds me a lot of Ed, always around the football. But when Bill Belichick tells you he thinks that Ed Reed is the best he ever saw, that tells you something.
All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can get in on the show this morning. I got a couple more minutes, and just making sure, Drew, you're okay. If you didn't miss it in the first hour, we tried to do the beer squat challenge.
And I actually did squat.
You did squat. I'm just making sure you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. We now have the Miller Lite hotline. Or the Miller Lite Studios. Pardon me, Wes. It's still the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline.
Yes.
But now we have the Miller Lite Studios.
Steve, we can tell you that no beer was spilled on the equipment.
No equipment was spared, but we now, from our good friends at the Furniture Factory, we appreciate it. We smell like Miller Lite. And we'll be over there tonight with Stephen and Wes over at the Furniture Factory. And our good and resourceful intern who was here, Abigail Green, to give us a great assist. And she will be out there tonight as well giving you some social media coverage.
All right, make sure you head to WZZN.half-off-deal or 977ESPN.com. Get your zone deals. You can get $50 worth of food to $25 to the Metro Diner. Have you experienced Metro Diner yet, Jordy?
I have not experienced Metro Diner yet.
You need to experience Metro Diner. The Charleston shrimp and grits, the chicken and waffles with strawberry butter.
But they don't have Miller Lite.
Well, they may. No, do they not?
No, not at the Metro Diner.
Okay.
They don't.
You sold me a chicken and waffles.
I sold you on the chicken and waffles?
Chicken and waffles.
All right, well, there's only 6 deals left. So in order to get $50 worth of food for just $25 at Metro Diner, head to 977ESPN.com, click on Zone Deals, or click on the Metro Diner link. You can get it. There's only 6 deals left, so you better get yours now before they are gone. We hope that they're gone very soon, but Metro Diner, and then the Hummus and Pita Company as well.
Well, no, you can get your outstanding Mexican food tonight. It's starting at 6 at the Furniture Factory and have a Miller Lite there. That's where you can have a Miller Lite, Scott.
Oh, we need to get Wes and Steve to see how long they can balance it on their head as well.
I don't think Wes would even entertain that. I don't know why I did. but I guess just, be a good sport.
You were a great sport.
And so it was, a near disaster, but we were able to navigate it, still have an outstanding show, and I know we need to promote this upcoming Rocket City Fit Day.
It is Rocket City Fit Day. It's going to be Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. over at Toyota Field. SportsMed, your complete orthopedic care place, along with F45 Fitness. They're putting this on. It's free to the public to come on out and visit with the vendors, visit with us, visit with everybody there at Toyota Field. And then you can do the workout. You can do the beer squat challenge. Go to rocketcityfitday.com to register to do the fitness portion and the beer squat challenge. You squat and hold an 8-ounce cup of beer on top of your head for as long as you can. The winner gets some Lululemon outfit, any outfit or whatever, I think it was, to the Lululemon store. So get on out there and try the beer squat challenge. Are you going for that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, you're not.
I love Lululemon.
You're not going. I'm not. I know Drew's not. So
we want to thank Kobe and Jordan for being here this morning. We want to thank Keith Niebuhr and Curtis Wilkerson. Great show today. We smell like Miller Lite. We're okay.
Hey, somebody on Facebook Live says we need to get you and Jeff from the Borough to race on Fit Day.
Oh, that'd be great. Have a great day, everybody.
Our latest zone deal is from the Hummus and Pita Company, where everything served is made from scratch right on site. Executive Chef Jose Tapia's menu draws its inspiration from across the Mediterranean and beyond, with nods to Greece, Israel, Morocco, and the Middle East. And right now, you can enjoy $50 worth of the scratch-made goodness of the Hummus and Pita Company for half price, just $25. Log on 977ESPN.com now for your half-price zone deal from the Hummus and Pita Company, and get yours before they're gone.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
Good morning, I'm Doug Brown. Even without James Harden, the Nets decimate the Bucks Monday night, 125-86, 32 for Kevin Durant. The Nets up 2-0 in the series. In Phoenix, the Suns take the Nuggets in Game 1, 122-105, 21 points, 11 assists for Chris Paul. The Green Bay Packers open their mandatory 3-day minicamp today. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Aaron Rodgers is not expected to be there. The LA Times reports former Giants head coach Jim Fossil has died of a heart attack. He was 71 years old.
Is your dad's razor older than you are? Get him something new for Father's Day. A DSC 6-blade razor is perfect for an extra close, precise shave. Get one now at a store near you, or as part of a gift set at dollarshaveclub.com/greenie. That's dollarshaveclub.com/greenie.
From the ESPN studios at Pier 17 in the Seaport District of New York City, this is Greenie with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on ESPN Plus.
Back and better than ever, Greenie presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Goodyear Hotline, huge names in the news on this Tuesday. Aaron Rodgers, KD, Julio, CP3, and more. Speaking of big names, Doris Burke is live with us today. The crew is ready. Let's go.
Here we go! Only one place to start.
Kevin Durant up to 30 points. This series will shift to Wisconsin. Horn sounds, the biggest playoff win in Nets franchise history. They dust Milwaukee to go up 2-0.
Well, that was no fun at all, was it? And by that, I mean the NBA playoffs, which basically ended last night. Are you kidding me? The one series everyone thought the Nets might actually lose, James Harden has played 43 seconds, and it's no contest. Last night, the Nets won every quarter. They won the fourth quarter, which they started with a 30-point lead. They won a playoff game last night by 39 points, and it was not as close as the final score would indicate. That game was much more one-sided than the 39-point final decision would have made you think. A team that more publicly and flagrantly than any other fully dismissed the regular season as not being worth their time has genuinely flipped the switch, just as we feared they would. They're just too good for everybody else. If you've ever been to an AAU tournament, you've seen that game a million times. I've been to hundreds of AAU tournaments, so I've seen it a billion times. It's over in the layup line. One team has all the good players. They play as hard as they need to. Never is there any question who is going to win. It's fun to watch them for about 5 minutes. And then the rest of the weekend, those are the least interesting games of the tournament. Please don't let the NBA turn into that. I really don't know what more to say about Brooklyn 125, Milwaukee 86. Every single person involved with the Bucks should be ashamed of what happened last night, unless the Nets are just too good for everyone. Unless that's just the reality, unless what we saw last night is what the NBA playoffs are now and will be as long as these guys stay interested enough to do it. I can't give you any more straight talk than that, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, because there isn't anything more than that to say. I asked Kendrick Perkins about it on TV this morning.
I'm so mad at myself for the simple reason is that I didn't stick to what I believed in, okay? I let people fool me with the two-time MVP. I let people fool me that Giannis got better. I let people fool me that he's the defensive player of the year. Because of the fact of the matter is this. He is who he is, and he's going to continue to show us that he's not a number one option guy. And right now, Kevin Durant is spanking Giannis and got him over his lap and giving him a straight spanking. And when you look at it, he's having deer sausage and deer stew. He's doing whatever he wants to Giannis. I'm not even mad at Giannis. I'm not mad at the Bucks. I'm mad at Big Perk for letting people trick me to picking Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. That's what Kendrick Perkins said on Get Up this morning. Now, I had built this entire week to be based around this series, first and foremost. In my mind, as I sort of make plans for this, I thought to myself, well, this week we will dive deeply into Nets Bucks. There's that felt like it was going to be the central sort of feature of our conversations this week. NFL mini camps, which do have some stories. Julio Jones got traded. Aaron Rodgers isn't there. We'll get to those. But first and foremost, we were going to get this series, this showdown. Hashtag crew, does anyone have anything interesting to say? Can we say anything interesting about this? Hembo, I'm starting with you. Hashtag Hembo, who is my vice president in charge of analytics. And the people who are involved in analytics always take the field. The question, this or the field, the answer is always the field for you people. Are you still taking the field over the Nets?
I am still taking the field, but I am wavering. Vegas, the Nets are plus 115 right now, which means they're not quite an odds-on favorite. Once Vegas takes the plunge, I'll take the plunge with them.
What? Here's my corollary. What is the matter with you? What part of last night's game did you not watch? I mean, I've got my son and my nephew in the house, and we're all excited. We got us a nice little setup to watch the game together last night. We have an early dinner, so we're all gathered around. I was so excited. We were so excited to watch this game. And like within 20 minutes, I was like, good night, guys. I'm going upstairs to read. I'm going to go read a book. I mean, there's nothing to watch. This is a walk. Who's playing them? Who's stopping them? That's without Harden. Harden has played 43 seconds. He's sitting there last night. What was he drinking? Was that a large soda? Did you see the straw he was drinking through it? What was that? What was James Harden drinking? James Harden is drinking like what are the 7-Eleven, what are those big drinks called?
Big gulp?
A big gulp. Like James Harden's over on the side having a big gulp. He's so relaxed. This is a non-issue. So, I mean, the field to me is the field. You should get 50 to 1 odds to take the field. I'll take the field for 50 to 1. I think we should be debating whether or not there will be sweeps, whether they'll lose another game. I don't know how Boston beat them for a game. Let me go next to Nuno, hashtag Nuno, who is my vice president of just generally being crotchety and snarky and negative about everything. So, Nuno, say something snarky about that game last night.
I don't know who I dislike more right now, the Nets for just being this good and just ruining our fun, or the Bucks for being so fraudulent. It's disgusting that this team we thought was a threat, and Giannis is supposed to be this great. I'll go back to what I said earlier a couple weeks ago. Is there a superstar you trust less in a big spot than Giannis?
I think that's well said. You believe Giannis is a fraud. You believe Giannis's greatness is fraudulent, true or false?
True.
Here's the deal. Nuno is only slightly wrong, which is to say this. Giannis is a great player. There isn't any question that he's a great player. He's got physical gifts beyond those that practically any player in the history of the sport has had. But what he does not have is the level of skill that the great players in today's NBA have. So what Giannis is an incredible piece of a championship team, an unimaginably great piece of a championship team. But he is not the player you build one around. Jay Williams said it to me on TV this morning. He's a skinny Shaq. And go count up all the championships Shaq won without Kobe Bryant or Dwayne Wade. Don't waste your time. You already know you don't have to. He can't be the guy you were counting on for buckets. He can't. He's a great defensive player. Although he got worked by Kevin Durant last night. But I'm not taking that away from Giannis. This is not about Giannis not being great. It's about Giannis not being on that very, very, very short list of players who you say he's on that team, well, they can win the whole thing. LeBron's on that list. KD's on that list. I think Kawhi is on that list. I would put Luka on that list already, and there are others. Giannis is not. So I'm delighted that he stayed in Milwaukee, and I'm not here to bury Giannis today, but I am here to give an honest assessment of him. He is a great player, but he cannot be your primary scoring option. He can be the best player on your team, but he cannot be your primary scoring option. He just can't. And so finally I turned to Bubba, and many may not know this, but Bubba, before his career in radio production, had an extraordinarily successful run working as an executive in the NBA. And you were there and present for a lot of really important decisions about competitive balance and all of those sorts of issues. So with that as your background and as the backdrop of this question, what can we do, Bubba, about how one-sided, unfair, and I fear uninteresting this thing is starting to look?
Well, lest anyone forget, the series doesn't start until the home team loses. So check back with me after game 3, because as far as I can tell, the series hasn't started yet. Go Bucks.
Okay.
Good answer.
All right. That was everything we hoped it would be and more. All right. We are just getting started. That's where it begins today. There are a million different places we will go. A little straight talk for you here. Cutting your wireless bill in half feels good. Home run in the 9th inning good. Straight Talk offers 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month. It's up to 50% less than the other guys on America's best networks. Straight Talk wireless, no contract, no compromise. We haven't even scratched the surface of where that was going to go. Plus, I will ask what I think is the most important question of the day. It's one you haven't heard asked yet. I'll do it next. You're listening to Greeny on ESPN Radio.
Today on ESPN Daily, after months of controversy and litigation, the NFL says it wants to change how it evaluates claims from former players who suffered concussions and that it will no longer use the technique known as race norming. So follow us and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Get more miles on the road with O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system means better gas mileage for your car. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $8. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. For a clean, lubricated, more fuel-efficient system, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
All hits all the time.
Let's go commercial free. Even though saying we're going commercial free is technically a commercial for this station. When I say commercial free, I mean no commercials from our sponsors. But saying that is still a commercial of sorts, just to be clear. Okay, now I'm confused. Let's go commercial free. Except for this message about how we're going commercial free.
Maybe commercials about going commercial free just need a Snickers. Snickers satisfies.
You're listening to Greeny on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tired of the same